So here's part two. As an alarm I thought I had turned off. I apologize for that. I'm forgiving myself. I'm going, ugh. Anyway, because I was right in the middle of a thought. So this is like the second half of my mom's ceremony. Take a nice deep breath in. And my mom was all about joy. And so this morning, I was up most of the night. I can't say it was a rough night. It was actually a really good night. Not a lot of tears or anything like that. It was more frustration. And I'll tell you what my frustration is. My frustration is it's been 2 weeks since anybody, except for On the Pulse, Silky, who put out that beautiful, beautiful statement. She's been watching it. And this Soltara News, who in the past week has been doing their updates with their little drone going to Camp Flegree. They've been doing this the past week in English, because there's people that are like, hey, So they've been doing it in English, and then the ability to do the subtitles in any language that you're at, because they're realizing that, there's some of us in the world that are listening to the Mother Earth, and we want to know what's going on. We want to see what is going on, because the authorities are like, oh, this is normal. Oh, this is normal. And they're starting to do this now at Mount Rainier, several different places where those that are looking for the actual real data and not the drama, blow up bullshit, which is going to happen, but they're like, anyway, there's that frustration. And yesterday I kept waiting for the drone, because the day before, you could tell in the past week, things have really stepped up. And the people are like, they're lying to us. And they finally came out with that statement, and then it's flatlined. It has completely flatlined. The information, that is. There are some geologists that are, all they're doing is watching the ring of fire. And then they spin the globe and they're like, oh, we're watching the world. But there ain't nothing coming through. And they're getting frustrated because they can't find the information. But even then, some of these that are really on the pulse, I believe, are like, haven't reported anything from Camp Flegree in a month. So it's been 2 weeks or a month. Or the one that was showing stuff they just disappeared. They put out, hey, things aren't good, things are stepping up, and you could see the differences in the little spaces that they were taking the drone to, even from the day before. And there was no drone yesterday. And so I'm like putting little messages like, hello, you're watching all the world earthquakes. What's going on at Camp Flegree? What's going on at Camp Flegree? You spin the little globe, you're going over all of these things, but you're not covering Europe. You're covering the little portion of Russia. You're covering the Ring of Fire. You're even showing some of these kind of oddball ones, like way up in the North Pole. But what's going on at Camp Flegree? Hello? So that was my frustration. And so I am digging, and then I'm going into meditation and feeling, and I'm like, wow, something's getting seriously ready to give. We've had a couple, because that 8.8, that was just a wake up. in my humble opinion. And so he's hello. Don't make that. You made me call you a second time almost. I did a halvesy. I'll let you get away with that one. You responded quickly. So, so I get my sleep. I turned on this beautiful Lionsgate meditation for sleep, and or did I do a system reset? I don't remember. But anyway, I finally turned on a meditation and zonked out, and sure enough, boom, I'm awake. Time for morning fire ceremony. And I had prepared everything the night before because I felt this pulse of I need to release, I need to do the ceremony around joy. You know, we've had this, and now it's like, okay, and when you're in that moment, that's really when the joy really starts coming through. And that was something that my mom really loved, and it was one of the things she absolutely loved, having her little dog Joy around, because Joy was all about being in the moment. And Joy, trust me, Joy resembled my mom's personality. Absolutely. And I'm not going to go into all of those details, at least not right here, right now. At least I don't think so. We'll see what takes place. Let's go this way. So, I'm around this little Yuma nation. This way. I'm around this little Yuma nation. Oh, let's go through this arch of joy together. Oh, look at that. Look at that beautiful green with two masculine and feminine. Aren't they just beautiful? Oh, wow, isn't that gorgeous? Oh, I want to touch you. May I touch you? Oh, wow. Thank you. I didn't notice this the last time I came through here. We came through as a family. We were in an after chat when we stepped through here. You are gorgeous. Feels so good. You are the baby of the big one, aren't you? Wow, I see. I feel. Yeah. Maybe not, but yes. What's tickling my leg? So, taking a nice deep breath. As you exhale, settle into your body and feel your awareness go all the way through your chest. Do it again if you need to. And settle that energy. Feel that energy all the way down through your hips, all the way into your legs and your knees and your feet. Oh, feel your feet connecting with Mother Earth. Oh, bring that energy back up with your next breath. Ooh, up through your legs and your hips. Oh, feel that up through your spine. All the way up into your heart, your throat. Oh, feel that, release all the way up into your head, your brain, your skull, your crown. Oh, feel that going up into the sky, to the sun. Oh, one more nice deep breath in. Oh, draw. Feel that sun and that gray shooting down into your crown, into your skull, down through. Right back down into your heart. And in your heart, oh, feel that circulation. Right here, right now, and the balance of those energies. Oh, feel that giggle. You know, the sun's cracking up at us right now. Creator is laughing at us because we take things so crazily serious. Even though sometimes they feel like they really, really are. But when we're in that moment, really fully engulfed in that moment, we know exactly what to do, we know exactly where to be. We are centered right here in that energy, that joy, that laughter, that power, that strength, that courage, that presence. And we step through that doorway of Hakuna Matata. Let it be all right. 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 Ooh, we have another portal. Ooh. You know, sometimes being in the moment, as was shared earlier today, is allowing ourselves to really fully feel what we're feeling in the moment, yet not allow it to overtake us. And we've been practicing that this week. And we're going to be practicing it even more so. So going, yeah, this might be where we're at the moment. But in this moment, we don't have to do things the way we used to. In that anxious, crazy way. Like the world's gonna fall apart. We can come into it knowing it's all God, it's all good. And our needs are always taken care of. Staying present and aware. Feeling what come might may. And so the way may seem, oh, like an entangled web. Like oh. And when we breathe and follow that gentle guidance, staying present and aware, we can find our way through in a perfect and good way. And knowing we've been held the entire time. Being guided perfectly the entire time. To open up to our village, our circle, our family. We're all the medicine. Each one of us carries our medicine. The medicine needed for all of us. And we can sit in a circle of equals and share our gifts Not because we have to, not because we're trying to find a way to support ourselves, because we're supporting each other. And we give freely and receive freely. And we sit in a circle and we hear each other's truth, no matter how painful. Because sometimes it strikes chords in each one of us. That's our medicine. That's part of our medicine. It's all the good, the bad, the ugly, the belief, the disbelief, the sting, and the calming, the relief, the beauty. Yeah. And so we come inside the circle. And when we listen and hear each other's truths, there's a truth inside of us that is awoken sometimes, or is affirmed, or is healed. And what we share from our hearts, our medicine, heals another, stings another, blesses another. They're all blessings. They're all blessings. So beautiful. This is the way the natives, it's the reason they had talking circles. It's the reason they had ceremonies. Most ceremonies were done in a talking circle way. So everybody's voice, everybody's medicine. Yes, there were certain ceremonies that were very, very specific, but they always had a talking circle element with them. So pipe ceremonies are that way too. So everyone's voice is fully heard. Everyone is unheard. That is very, very important, because not a single, Roshini, come! Because not a single animal, not a single plant, not a single grain of sand is fully right, fully wrong. It just is. And a big part of ourselves it just is. Stay. Yeah, good boy. It's all perfect. And when we can embrace ourselves that way, yeah, it's that integrating and realizing I'm all of it and I'm none of it. Ooh. I'm all of it and I'm none of it. We are all of it And at the same time, we're none of it. Yeah. That's the grace, the beauty, the gift of doing shadow work. Oh, it allows a letting go. I so get why my dad, and even my mom, continued to do sessions, continued to dive into stuff and go searching for stuff that irritates the shit out of them. You know, like, ooh, I got triggered. Something to dive into. Not in a humdrum way. Not in a, oh shit. Sometimes that happens. In the beginning, that's what happens. And sometimes when you get even deeper in some of those wounds, oh God, it takes you to your knees where a lot of us are at. But, however, having a community where you can be real, yeah. So we have our ceremony, and we share. We sometimes, yeah, you know, we you know, for the most part, we honor the talking circle part of the ceremony, and we all get to share our medicine because we all have a piece of the puzzle. And it's not counseling. It's sharing it's a ceremony, but our after chat, we dive in a little deeper and many times get into things in the after chat. And sometimes there's one of us that needs to be held a little bit more than the others, although we can always see the synchronicity with the planetary alignments and so forth. So the ceremony part has its piece. It's perfect. It's beautiful. It's that honoring and opening up the circle kind of thing. And then we can delve, you know. And each one of us as sovereign beings, we take that into our day. And we work it and so forth. And then the next morning we come, it's kind of like, well, I'm not even going to try to describe it. It's something, as my mom would share, you got to feel it. You got to feel it. I remember that first time I had that feeling of something, you know, I had no idea I was going to do it. I had no idea. I had the Road King and was taken to this fishing cabin. Now that fishing cabin, there really was a 25-mile road of nothing but gravel. And, you know, it was my first peregrination. I'd really only had the Road King and that big of a motorcycle, and I was wearing these great big platforms, like 6-inch platforms that I had made myself. I even put a copyright on it. It didn't go anywhere. However, it was quite a, if I could say so myself, it was kind of brilliant. Now, I didn't know how it was going to work. I sat in meditation, and I remember my partner going, "This is nuts," and got all frustrated, and I said, I see it. I saw it in a vision. Here, let me do it. You know, he was so good at wanting to assist and help and here, I'll take care of this while you do that. You know, you need to be over there and doing this or that. And I would, but I was like, no, this is how it needs to go. And it worked beautiful. And yeah, I tried to do the whole, because there were several men who were like, oh, my wife wants to ride, but she can't touch the ground. She needs a pair of those, you know? And so I thought, okay, I'll copyright it. I'm not into all of that kind of stuff. And I did. Anyway, so we're going back this road. I got off on a tangent. We're going down this road, and I'm paying attention to all the spaces. Like, oh, that's some slippery gravel there. I'm going to have to remember that, you know, and trying to use my photographic memory, knowing exactly where everything is at, because I'm like, I got to get back out of here. Well, at the very, very end, there was a huge, with all these ruts, and there was some boulders in there and kind of stuff, and I'm going, ah. And so I spent 3 days fretting, concerned. I tried to slide into the moment a few times and taking walks and so forth with my dog and going out on the boat. And yes, it was so gorgeous and beautiful. However, today, one thing I learned, today is like, wow, you know, to really savor all of that. Can't say that I fully did, but what I did savor was the morning that it was time to pull out of there. And I had called my mom. I had found a space. I had to walk quite a distance to find signal and call my mom and say, please, 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 I'm pulling out on this particular day. Can you just, you know, see the motorcycle gliding up this hill? I'm not sure how we're going to get her back out of here. And she's like, absolutely. And so we did our prayer, and you know, I did my prayer that morning. My partner was like, shall we put her on the trailer? Because we had a little trailer chase vehicle. The trailer, in case she had broken down, and especially if we were somewhere where, you know, we needed assistance, or we couldn't get assistance because we were going up through we went up through Alaska, up through Canada and Alaska and so forth. Anyway, hut. So I'm like, no. I watched some of these trucks. I watched a van. I watched a 4-wheel truck trying to get up that hill, and they were sliding. Sometimes one even rolled backwards, and then he tried again. So that morning I went out for my walk, and I moved the boulders, and I had this little route memorized. Okay, I'm going to go to the left. I still remember it. I'm going to go to the left, and right here I'll turn her, and and then I'll be able to go. So I had my dirt biking and my, you know, all of that, and I'm like, I got it down, right? So here we are that morning, and I knew, I was like, no, you go on ahead, get up out of the way. I don't want you behind me. You go on up, get quite a distance away from the hill, so I don't have to try to stop. I can just keep the momentum going, provided I make it up the hill. Okay. So he did. So I'm there with my prayer, getting ready to go, and I'm going, Jesus, take the wheel. That was my go-to mantra. I would do my prayer all the way around the motorcycle. I would sit down, and I'd be, Jesus, take the wheel. You got to do this, because I don't know if I can. And that was every morning, every time pulling out. And many times I got to I'd do the little sign of the cross sometimes, especially if I knew I was going through a big city. Anyway, it's Jesus, take the wheel. And I remember hitting the gas. And I don't remember anything until quite a ways up the gravel road, and that 25-mile road felt like a flash. I couldn't believe the moment where I was on the pavement and was like, well, where did all the loose gravel go? Where? And then I hit that pavement and I just put my hand up in the air. Once I got on the pavement straight, I put both hands in the air. And I'm like, fuck yeah, thank you, Great Spirit. And I remember looking back a few times and going, wow, how did that happen? And I also remember that the motorcycle that Icro, her name was Icro, that Icro went, I do remember seeing that going, you thought you had it all worked out. This is the way it needed to happen. And it was the exact opposite. Going up to the right, cutting over and over to the left. I don't know. But I remember sharing that with my mom and going, and she goes, yes, yes. And I said, and I don't know how to explain it. She says, you can't. It's something you have to feel. And I'm so glad you got the chance to feel it. She goes, now, remember that. Just turn it over and let it go. Turn it over and let it go. Turn it over and let it go. And I'm going, yeah. Wow. She goes, you felt like you lost 3 days of your life. I says, in a way, yeah. I said, if I knew that, oh my God, I would have handled that entire weekend completely. It was a week. I would have handled that completely different. It was a Monday. We got there on a Monday morning and left on a Thursday. It was Minnesota, and then we went to the centers to the place that we needed to present at. There you are. Good boy. I was looking the wrong place. Let's come over here. So, anyway, with that, I'm going to go on with my ceremony. Starting to warm up a little bit. I need to take care of this and release the joy into the waters. And see, the hunger's hitting me. So, I guess this turn it over is coming to an end because yeah, it's one of those moments. Gotta go. Love you.